Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to talk about Brittany Dawn and the reason that she is really upsetting everybody over on TikTok all over again. A lot of people are just now discovering who Brittany Dawn is because she is parading this foster child all over her social media pages. And it's really upsetting a lot of people, but I want to talk about this from the stance of kind of reacting to her recent TikToks, and we can talk about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So, for anyone who might not be super familiar with Brittany Dawn, she is a Christian influencer who is also a scammer. Her last influencer shtick had to do with the fitness world. Now she's moved on to the Christian influencer world, and she's definitely trying to dip her toes into the family vlogging sphere, being a mommy vlogger, sharing this child that is not hers, literally within minutes of having the child in her care. She's also someone who is a dog boarder. Instead of taking her dog to get proper end of life care, she allowed her husband, who she's still, who she currently is married to at that point in time. I think they were only engaged, but she allowed him to shoot the dog instead of taking the dog to either be humanely put down or get end of life measures to at least try to save the dog. And if the dog was too far gone, then the vet professional should have still been the ones to handle this dog. I think she's a terrible person. She's also offloaded pets like they are, old side tables that she no longer wants. And she's just overall a really gross person. And I'm not saying physically, I am saying her personality traits, her character is extremely gross. And it's all been playing out on a public stage. So I did a video, which I will link down below, but she and her husband, Jordan, who, by the way, is also someone who was sued by the ACLU for improperly, literally using excessive force on a black man when he was a police officer in Kansas City. So that's a whole nother kind of branch as to why people can't stand Brittany or her husband, Jordan. The thing that people are really focusing on over on TikTok right now is the fact that the homeless man, James. So essentially, this situation with the homeless man, James, I have covered it, but very briefly, what happened with him was Brittany Dawn and her husband wanted to use him for content and act like the white saviors that they are, and ended up sending him to a treatment facility that did not cost them very much money at all, a couple $100 probably. And they sent him there, and when he got out, he wanted to know where his GoFundMe money was, that they used his story to raise money on GoFundMe, and he was blocked by Brittany Dawn and her husband. So a lot of people are talking about the homeless aspect of it. A lot of people are discussing the dog situation. She and her husband are both just terrible people, and I don't care if she turned her life over and she's a woman of God and all of this kind of stuff that she tries to spout out all day long. That doesn't take away from all the crap that she has done and current day utilizing a child for content. If you look on her TikTok, she is utilizing this child for her own fame and, her influencer lifestyle. The way that she is getting around this is because she's not showing the child's face. So a lot of people have asked the question, like, how is she even allowed to put the child in videos? She's not showing the child's face and she's not saying the child's name. That is how she's bending the rules to still be able to put this child in content. Now, for the caseworker, I would think that there would still be something that they could do to step in and say, the child cannot be used as part of your content. But I don't know the laws and I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to try to dissect something or speculate on anything. But based on my basic understanding of the rules and laws in Texas, this is how she is getting around it. It's because she is not using the child's face or stating the child's, real name. On New Year's Eve, she posted a recap, and again, the child was featured in this recap, even though she's only had the child for a month. And her entire presence is being shifted to, I'm a foster mom that is living for Jesus, and I'm, just tulips and rainbows. That's not who she is, and that's why people are super, super, super upset, because this is all a facade. If this is who she was, that would be one thing. We could just talk about the foster situation, and that would be it. But her history online has been so toxic and hurt so many people along the way. That's why people hate her. They cannot stand to see her here now, trying to turn another new leaf, utilizing a child as part of her marketing strategy. It's gross. But she continues to share this content that is based around this foster situation. And the next TikTok says, December me, you become a foster mom, and some people on the internet say really mean things to you, but don't worry. You've never felt so called to something before as this. So let's just talk about that for a second. I am so fed up with people saying, oh, people are saying mean things about me. If people are saying their opinions based off of things that you have done, like scamming people, like instead of taking accountability, you jump on a jet and go over to Hawaii, like exploiting a homeless man for your own financial gain, blocking him, disappearing with the GoFundMe money, and then showing up with a lavish little wedding shortly after, like allowing your husband to shoot and kill your dog instead of getting him proper end-of-life care or life-saving measures. People are upset about those things. That's not people just being mean for no reason. I am so tired of this victim mentality. I know that some people online can be very mean. That's just the world that's just the culture of the internet. It is what it is. But for the most part, if you do things like what Brittany Dawn has done, people are going to lay into your ass, and it's for good reason. Brittany Dawn, what she does constantly on her social media is she will share bad days or tough chapters that she has gone through and then automatically tie it back to God. It's never tied back to, maybe this is just the way that life works. Maybe it's because I put effort in and I'm, receiving a product from the work that I put in. It always has to be tied back to the Bible. And this is what I can't stand about these Christian influencers is, as I said before, I understand that religion plays a really big part in some people's lives. But when you are making that your personality and you're saying, oh, well, I prayed the hardest, so I received, this gift from God. What about the other people that have been praying for a year longer than you have? Or been praying for 5 years longer than you have? Or they haven't, missed a Sunday church in 12 years? What about those people? You're saying that they just have to keep going? Let's also talk about the effort, the money, the resources that it takes to put yourself in certain positions in life. Praying alone is not going to just miraculously give you money, a house, a good relationship, a child. It's completely just painting a false sense of reality. All of her TikToks, she has limited comments, or even on the most recent one, she has turned comments off completely. People are really upset with Brittany Dawn, and she's definitely feeling the heat all over again because some people are just now discovering who she is. And once you kind of review everything that's out there about her that is confirmed, not talking about speculation, not talking about rumors, but the things that are actually confirmed, people are livid pissed. She doesn't like being the center of attention when it's in a negative light when people are giving her criticism. So her way of dealing with things is to talk about God some more and cut the comments off. Talk about the Bible verses and limit the comments. That's just her game. Now I want to talk about reunification, because this is something that is being widely discussed on TikTok when it comes to this foster child. You're fostering a child, you are not adopting this child. So the goal, and when I get into this, as always, please correct me if I am wrong. If y'all have more info than I do, if you have a different experience than I do, please use the comment section and be nice. But my understanding is that when you're fostering a child, the goal is for short-term placement with a foster family while the bio parents work on themselves and get back on their feet. Reunification is always the number one priority. It's not for the birth parents to fail and the foster parents to, be there forever. It's supposed to be a short-term safe shelter for this child while mom or dad work on themselves. The foster parent is a caregiver. Foster parent, Brittany Dawn is not this child's mom. Brittany Dawn is the temporary caregiver of this sweet little baby while mom works on herself to get herself back on her feet until she can be reunited with the child. Now I'm going to play this TikTok for you guys where she goes into how she was called by God to be a foster parent.
Okay, so I saw this comment about how we felt called to foster care, and I thought no better time to answer this than now. To give you guys context, my husband and I always knew we wanted to step into foster care. We just didn't think it would happen so soon. Our church shared a word of the year, expanding territory, with subcategories, and one of those subcategories was expanding families. I remember sitting on the edge of my seat, grabbing my husband's hand, just being on edge, like, babe, this word is for us. The Lord is speaking to us. We're going to be pregnant. It's going to look like what we thought it would look like. And then I heard the pastor say something that I will never forget and sent chills down my spine. He said there are families in this auditorium that are waiting to have their own child before they step out into foster care or adoption. But I see you stepping out in faith first with either of those. When I say that I had tears rolling down my face, my heart knew in that moment that the Lord was speaking directly to us. But silly me, always wanting confirmation, I was like, Lord, send me a bright pink bus. Not literally, but you guys get what I'm saying. Send me something so obvious, God, that I know this is you and I can't ignore it anymore. 10 minutes later, the sermon ends, and I see this girl stand up 3 rows in front of me, turn around, and beeline towards us. And she comes up to me and she says, I know I don't know you and I know we don't know each other, but I feel like the Lord sees you as a foster mom and wants you to step into foster care. I lost all composure. I mean, ugly tears. Mascara running, lashes falling off my face, just in complete shock that the Lord had literally confirmed something so quickly for me. And ever since January 2nd of this year, we have stepped out in faith. We immediately got plugged into an agency after we found one, started doing the training, stewarded what the Lord had given us, and now I am sitting here in December of the same year. If God has asked you to do something, step out in faith and do it. It's okay if you don't know what it looks like, you don't have a timeline, or you don't know what you're doing. God will guide you every step of the way. You don't know what's waiting on the other side of your yes.
Again, I don't think that Brittany Dawn is making it clear what the role of a foster parent is. She's making it seem like this child is hers for a long term. And again, based on my knowledge and my understanding, that is not the goal of being a foster parent. The way that Brittany Dawn has already overshared about what this mother is going through as far as substance use and making it a point. There's this other TikTok where someone said she can't be a mom to a child who isn't hers. And she goes through and shows, oh, I'm cleaning bottles, I'm making bottles, I'm changing diapers. But you're caregiving. That still doesn't make you this child's mother. Again, foster care, temporary placement while birth parents get back on their feet so that the children can be reunited with the parents. Keep families together. This is a common slogan that I have seen so many different places on websites and things like this that have to do with foster organizations or kids that are in need of temporary foster placement, that is the end goal. The foster parents are not bio parents. They're not long term. They are short term while parents get back on their feet. You know, she wants to reply, actually, we can be moms, and we are. But what you're not understanding is you're using this kid for content. So if motherly instinct, naturally, is to protect children, you've already failed that test, Brittany Dawn. You have already failed that test by sharing this child literally hours and minutes after the child was in your household, using the child for content, putting up affiliate links to Amazon and other websites so that you can get paid off these links. This is not your child. She shares this other TikTok where she says the worst part about being a foster mom is knowing that you can get that phone call and the child can go back to birth parents. But you know that. And if you did a fair amount of research on fostering and becoming foster parents, then you would know that these children are only meant to be with you for a very short period of time. It's not a permanent situation. But you have absolutely taken full advantage of this situation by using this child for content, making sure that, you know, the child is earning you money by being part of this marketing ploy that she's doing. By her saying that the hardest part about being a foster mom is knowing that a reunification is right around the corner, that tells me that, in my opinion, she should not be a foster parent. Because that should be a moment that's celebrated. Because if you have reunification, then that means that the birth parent was able to get on their feet, you know, get a permanent housing, go through treatment, whatever it is that they needed to do, so that they could properly care for their child. It shouldn't be oh, well, you know, damn, the birth parent went through treatment. That should be celebrated. If you have birth parents that are doing everything that they need to do to be reunited with their child, those are people that should be, there should be the biggest celebration when that phone call comes in. Instead, Brittany Dawn wants to cry because she's not going to be able to use this child as part of her damn social media anymore. I think that she, like a lot of other influencers, she's very self-serving. She cannot see past what suits her and what's in her best interest. And I am so glad that so many people are talking about her again, because obviously I've known about her for a really long time, but it's great to hear from kids who were in the foster care system and also other foster parents and parents who chose to go the adoption route. It's been really interesting to kind of hear different stories from different people, but just the fact of the possessive nature that Brittany Dawn is exhibiting in some of these videos really shows me that she is not here to be a foster parent and want reunification. She wants a little child that she can use as part of her, you know, brand marketing, and almost use the child like a doll. And that's my opinion based off of everything that I've seen by her with her own words. So I really want to know how you guys feel about this. Of course, as always, if you were in the foster care system growing up, feel free to share your stance if you are comfortable with sharing it. If not, that's okay too. But I am really interested to see what you guys have to say. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's going to be up immediately. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.